I listen to Debatable Decisions.
We listen to Debatable Decisions.
This is Half the Hustler, and you're now rocking with Debatable Decisions.
I listen to Debatable Decisions.
I get that bad, they gon' hate on me. They get that bad, they gon' change on me. Curry with the team, they gon' trade on me. Curry in the wing, they gon' fade on me.
Mic check, 1 2 1 2. I go by the name of Corey. I got AC, the mayor, to the right of me.
I got Cutie Pie to my far left.
And this is Debatable Decisions.
I hope you feel good about yourself right now. I'm surely hoping that you feel great about yourself in this moment.
Try to fire me. You must be crazy.
I mean, because for the past 6 months, you've been trying to fire everybody but yourself.
It's going on. It's on today.
We're not
down today.
We're not a part of a union, so I don't have nothing to worry about.
I mean, hey,
I'm
that's
so familiar with that.
right. Too familiar. And I'm looking
Touche.
straight at the camera on that one. Y'all know who that's directed to.
The board.
Wow.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was very
one.
good. Like,
He's on fire today. He's on fire.
all right.
Not yet.
Soon
to be on fire.
I'm feeling the hoodie. I was surprised to see the true joint. After you grinded my wife up about her Adidas joint a few episodes back, and then now you're trying to hide it. Let me ask, are you getting paid for that? Are you getting paid for that? I love you, big bro.
Love is an action word.
and I am
Please
showing you my
stop.
action. My love.
Love is an action
I'm showing
word.
my love through
All
my
right.
action.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? How was everybody's week?
You know what I really enjoyed last Saturday?
What?
What's that?
Texas Roadhouse. And I didn't even have to pay for it.
And
That's why you enjoyed it.
It was the black owned Texas
Yes,
Roadhouse.
it was.
You know what I mean?
Black owned.
Shout out Tylen.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good vibe. And speaking of that vibe, man, we had a nice conversation.
Somebody talk
during
most
that.
of it.
I mean, well, you know, and it wasn't me this time.
Not ever.
But we had a really good vibe.
Hold up.
Oh, I'm listening.
You know what? Got you.
Go. I'm ready.
No, you're not. Trust
told
me,
you.
you are not ready.
I told you.
You are not ready, B.
All right. Okay.
All
Well,
right.
you had to find out then.
Yeah, let's go.
Anyway, moving
Show
right
me.
along. Moving right along, sir.
Show me,
I
man.
asked how your week was. I'm gonna have to ignore this one in the middle because I don't have time for the shenanigans.
Nah, it's
today.
cool because it's actually the vibe it kind of ties into what we talked about last week. And
Peace,
it was,
Queen.
that's part of it as well. The conversation, give you a little bit of context. We were discussing accountability and how we as black people or melanated folk, we express or we show accountability through our actions. And a lot of times we throw these titles and labels, king this, queen that, my brother this, my brother that, and some people don't think that it is a
Deserving.
Yeah, deserving. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to bring that to the
What
to the
would
platform.
make it not deserving?
I mean, I would like for you to elaborate on that.
I'm asking you.
No, that you were the person
Well,
that said that some of us throw these
I didn't
titles
say
around in the conversation, Corey.
You did.
You did. The exact thing you said was good
I
brother.
think what you might have tripped him up was the topic was
Mhm.
accountability came up, but the topic was the fear of success.
Right?
So no, I'm just saying I thought
No.
that might have been the
Oh, got
what kind
you.
of threw him up with the piece.
But on our drive,
but he did say it, you know what I mean?
yeah, on our ride to Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, you talking about the conversation
Yeah,
here?
not,
got you.
recording, but the conversation at Texas Roadhouse. It kind of started off with, if you remember, a lot of individuals who start these organizations kind of go towards the government funding.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2022, to my understanding, I believe you feel like that's a system that we don't have to continue to go down, or we don't have to continue to rely on. Excuse me.
I feel that Lord willing, we won't have to rely on them
Mm-hmm.
in the near future. that means we will have to rely on ourselves and
Right.
our own finances, and we will have to have our finances in order.
Mhm.
But when they give up the bread, they set the tone. Anytime somebody give you money and they tell you, well, you know what, here's this bread, but I would like for you to focus on this or not focus on that, or these people are my friends, so don't speak bad about them, or you understand? So when they giving up their money, you gotta kind of have a song and dance for them. When we have our own paper, we can do what we want. You feel me? And I just think that's like one of the new hustles coming home from jail, or even just being out here, is to go get a nonprofit and milk the funding. Personally, I don't think it's a bunch of sincere individuals. It's a couple. Shout out to them. But I definitely think it's more of a show. You know, fatten your pockets a little bit, do the bare minimums, go on social media and make it seem like you're doing a lot more than what you really are. But I'm not going to talk too much on that topic. I really want to. Can you answer the question to me though? Who do you deem not worthy of these titles that you were speaking about?
So, go ahead.
wait.
No, go ahead.
He's asking you that because you made that statement.
But even if you can answer, remember, y'all are one. You can talk for him. He can
Yeah, I
talk
could
for you.
definitely, I could speak to that.
I'll
I
give
wouldn't
my take
necessarily,
personally.
I wouldn't say that. You said it. He's speaking to what you said. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't deem someone like if you bump into somebody on the street, you say, peace queen, peace king, whatever. I wouldn't say that you can't give someone that title, because I think it's just something that's kind of supposed to be uplifting, regardless if you are a king or a queen. I think when it's time to hold somebody accountable, you can still do that, but still say peace queen. You know what I mean? That's what we're talking. That's what we're speaking to. Is that what we're speaking to?
Yeah, I think.
Or are you saying actions?
Well, that's part of it though. So all right.
Actions means I can't even approach you as peace king. Is that what?
Well,
is that what we're saying?
So I think some individuals, to answer your question, so there's we say king, queen, good brother, sister, etc. And it's really, I say those words specifically king and queen. I don't say sister, brother out too much, but I say king and queen because for far too long, all like the word was so.
Right,
so you
right.
feel what I'm saying? To give a little bit of context, as you know, J.O., his first mixtape, he had a song, and one of his lines was, "Peace, queen, I'm really digging your style." And I was like, yo, I felt that. And it wasn't because he wasn't flirting with the woman.
He was just,
but he was honoring the woman.
right.
You feel what I'm saying?
And that goes to my point. Like, I agree that you can say that if you're just honoring, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're just honoring someone or being uplifting. Now, I know me specifically, in my mind, if I already know I don't look at you as a queen, I'll just say, hey, good morning. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest because in the back of my mind, I'll be like, oh, I know that shady thing you did last week, but it doesn't mean that I'm still not going to, it doesn't mean that I'm still not going to, uplift you or, be courteous or considerate. It just means in the back of my mind, I'm not looking at you as a queen or a king.
It's been some shady kings and queens too.
Exactly.
So,
That's what I'm speaking
that's
to.
the accountability piece.
But see, I greet that way because it's not really even just for myself.
Right.
It's to give you.
It's the energy.
So even if you're in a day that you're in the slums, I may especially greet you that way, just to give you a little bit of energy to climb out of that hole that you might be in. None of us are honestly can be deemed not worthy of being a king or queen because we all are imperfect. So it's like respect due.
Right,
just for the fact that, and I'm not countering what you're saying. I'm just saying my point of view. Respect due just because you're a human being.
Right,
you woke up this morning, you standing here, or whatever you could be doing.
Yeah, I feel like we all in agreement with that. Like we're just saying, hey, it's just how I honor you, or it's how I may uplift you. I'm just saying, me personally. In the back of my mind, if I know you're a shady individual, you're not going to probably get that from me because I'm like,
a straight
I wear
shooter.
my emotions on my sleeve all the way. And so, but I will still uplift you. I will say good morning, how are
Right,
you,
you're just gonna
whatever
do
the
it
case may
differently.
be. Yeah, it's just going to
Right.
look like I'm not about to call you
Right.
something that I hold in high regards.
And then and within this last 10 years, pardon me, so we then came out with the Peace Queen shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody was going nuts.
I remember.
You feel what I'm saying? And then I was like, yeah, we got to come out with a Peace King shirt. And the whole reasoning behind that, the Peace Queen shirt was for the guys to wear. The Peace King shirt was for the women to wear. And like in 2012, 13, they didn't understand why can't I get the Queen shirt? And it's because we as Black people need to straighten up how we look at each other.
That's right.
How
I
we
agree.
greet each other, how we honor each other. Now to the point, you said there's a lot of shady kings and queens out here. Yes, there are. And we definitely need to figure out a way strategically. I'm all for if someone comes at you on a public platform or in public, go back. That's my I'm not meaning okay, so let's say social media, right? Because that's a big thing. If I'm interacting with an individual, you feel what I'm saying? We're going back and forth. And then another person chimes in and tries to call me out, or vice versa. That person, in my opinion, needs to be told on that public platform, not behind closed doors, but on that public platform, yo, you're bugging right now. You're taking what I or this other person is saying out of context, and you may just be jumping on board because of experiences that you went through.
I don't think we should ever argue publicly, especially in the state that we're in. Us arguing publicly is probably one of the worst things that we do now, because that's all we do is argue publicly.
Right.
If I'm wrong, unless I disrespected you, then I publicly disrespected you, then you deserve a public apology. But if I'm wrong and we just disagree, I prefer you to pull me to the side and we have a conversation and try to build and get better understanding of one another. We have to stop showing our weaknesses. We argue. We argue and we disagree every other day. But they would never know that.
Right. And
but that
and us as a people,
we can't keep being publicized.
You don't see other cultures and their disagreements.
Right, that's right.
But us, we'll
do it. We'll go
they make money off of us.
Yep.
In those ways. Yeah. It's entertaining. Let's watch the fools.
Say it again.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's the point I'm saying though.
I think I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, real quick, I'm saying if a person is coming at you, I'm not saying argue with them. I'm saying handle it the right way.
Yeah, but I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Don't do it privately, because then the world doesn't see how you addressed it correctly.
Because you're saying you're trying to show the accountability piece.
Right.
Like, you're trying to make it seem. I'm like old school, like Corey. I won't go back and forth with you on like a social. I wouldn't do that, because I feel like even if your intentions aren't argument, it can be perceived as argument, or it can be perceived as going back and forth. But I do get your point. You're basically saying, if I'm holding you accountable, people kind of need to know that I'm holding you accountable. You know what I mean? I totally get that. But like, I feel like if it can get lost,
it's definitely going to get lost.
Translation, the best thing for us as a people is to pull the other person to the side and hold them accountable that way. And then maybe, like you say, if it's apology that needs to be made on that public platform, you say, hey, I'm like, Corey, I really felt like what you said on there was, inappropriate, and it didn't make the Black man look good. I think you should go on there and apologize. You know what I mean? And then, an apology is accountability online, but just the back and forth can get misconstrued as back and forth or argument.
Two people arguing in the distance, they both look like fools. Regardless of in that conversation or in that exchange who is right or wrong within them two, they both look like fools from a distance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we consistently look like fools because we argue over everything in front of everybody.
No question.
Now, you and I got into something a couple of weeks ago, and she made a point the cultural, the age difference affects perception and what is right and wrong. So I didn't grow up with social media. So the rules to engagement, the rules that I go by, the way that I live my life has nothing to do with social media. Your generation kind of grew up with social media, and your rules of engagement are different than mine. Me, man to man, you and I, let's bust it up. Your generation is more of a send a text, an apology. If you send me a text apologizing about something,
Okay, so
I'm not going to feel
by
sincere.
Because I was like, we didn't grow up with social media.
But
you
utilize
you're talking about
social
how we
media
express.
and
Yeah, it
technology.
Yeah, I got you now.
So
yeah, it's the time that it came about though, like for you all.
Yeah, I mean, we was when Facebook hit, I was a freshman in college. That's why I said I didn't grow up with it.
but all right, so maybe not just, but just even with texting.
Yeah, no,
and things
that
like
when
that.
you said that,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
got
like all
I
of
made
it is
perfect
like,
sense.
and what's so ironic about it is like, even our age differences aren't that huge, but they are when it comes to things of that nature. That's why I was able to point out to Corey, because I was like, I kind of see it. I always was saying, I see how Corey sees it. I see how Corey, but I'm like, why do I always see it how Corey sees it and versus how my husband sees it? And I had to think about it. I'm like, well, me and Corey, we kind of from an old school, from a different lane. So, certain things are acceptable, I think, for certain age brackets versus our age bracket.
Yeah, no,
But I think accountability is universal.
Yeah,
all
it
ages,
should be.
and we have to figure out the appropriate way.
It should be.
No, it should be.
Should be.
It should be. We have to figure out a way to translate that in all age groups, because people can't just keep
doing what they're
doing.
But if they don't know that what they're doing is wrong, like the youth can't see the future. The wise can. But the youth has no way of seeing the future. They don't have a way of understanding the future. They don't have a way of understanding that 19, you're not going to feel the same way at 30.
Right.
Physically, I'm not even dealing with the emotional or spiritual aspect. Physically, you're not going to feel the same way at 30. They don't understand that because they don't know what it feels like to be 30.
It doesn't mean we don't explain it to them.
No. So when the disconnect, the disconnect is more of we don't have ways of communicating, effective ways of communicating with our youth. We don't apply understanding and love a lot of times to our youth, knowing that we was that age at one time, so we kind of know what they're going through. So look, let's come up with a way to show them. You come up with ways to get your students' attention.
That's the way.
So that you can
I was
teach.
going to say, you
that's
you
the
hit
way.
it.
That's what I do. You hit right on it.
You gotta meet them where they are. So although it may not work for a text message, may not work for you as to how you want it to be accepted. But if that younger person, because that's all they may know, is let me express my emotions through the phone.
But it's
about
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
All right.
Then
So I'm going to text you, good morning, let's have breakfast, because the text message is really going to hurt our relationship because it's not intimate.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? So I'm going to use the communication style to draw you in.
That's what I was trying to say.
So I know I'm agreeing with you so that I can sit down in front of you.
Exactly.
And we can.
So the systems are there. We have to understand that they're there, and we have to utilize them.
Well, you have to have the ability, which I think a lot of people struggle with, is to try to get on the other end of the spectrum. Like I always say to my students, I always ask them, well, why did you do that? Because I gotta understand, because I don't understand it, but then I also explain to them why I don't understand it. Well, where the age I came from, we were seen, not heard. So explain to me what your situation is, and they'll explain. They will explain, and then you have that jargon, and you have that kind of, they may not totally be able to relate, but they kind of get where you're coming from. So that opens up that lane for them to be able to understand some of what you're trying to say. Right. Although they can't fully, they don't have the capacity to fully engage all of it.
Right.
So I think it's just about the talk. but it doesn't mean it shouldn't be had because we're on two different ends of the spectrum.
Back to what we originally were speaking about. The point that you made was the biggest point for me in giving people these titles. We're so used to what up, my. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because
That's my
some of my
like you feel what I'm saying.
some of my homies,
Mm-hmm.
I'll greet them with, "Hey, handsome," and a couple of them get offended.
Because they don't, yeah.
It's like, yo, don't be calling me handsome. I'm not gay.
Right.
Neither am I.
Right.
But
Right.
there's nothing wrong with me saying, "Hey, handsome." You understand? I'm not
Exactly.
saying it in
Not
a
at all.
lustful way.
Mhm.
I'm giving you just due.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say, yo, I like them sneakers. But I can't say, "Hey, handsome."
Right.
But even saying I like your outfit of sneakers, you're gonna look. Oh, it goes back to being able to receive love or knowing how to receive love.
Right.
I would prefer to approach you with love and honor than evil and aggression. You understand? And that's what some of us only know how to deal with. Somebody
Yeah, you're right. You're
screaming
right.
and yelling or giving you a derogatory term to greet you with, and it makes no sense. I'm listening.
No, I'm just kind of every time we talk, I always can relate it back to the building, where the kids are and where we're falling short, because that's where it starts at. It starts with our babies, because once we can get it in them early, you know what I mean. So I just keep thinking about the accountability piece, with the parents. You know what I mean? Just as a
Well, I mean, elaborate, because
I don't, and neither one of you all are going to agree with me. I know this.
may be surprised.
And I do not want you to feel like I'm disrespecting your profession in any way. But we all know where the problems are. Let's stop focusing on everything that we can't control. We can't control what goes on in these households. We can't. But we can control what we do when we have these children in our possession.
and
right?
that's
Hold on, let me finish.
go ahead.
We spend a lot of time focusing on the problems and not the solutions in our culture. My toe hurt. Why does it hurt? What am I going to do to make sure it doesn't hurt anymore or not much longer? But, yo, my toe hurt. I can't walk. I just bought these $1,500 sneakers. I can't even wear them joints. We thinking about all the that my toe hurting is going to affect, opposed to just focus on, you know what, I can sit here, wear some slippers, fix my toe, everything is cool. We got these kids in the building. We know that it's harder for us to do our jobs because of the lack of support. And I say we, but I'm not in that profession. But
you
I'm
understand.
just right. We don't have all the tools that we need. But you know what? Let's make sure that everyone that is employed in this building has an abundance of love for these children, and I guarantee we're gonna win. Teacher is teacher, doctors, lawyers. These are professions that it has to be solely about you enjoying what you're doing more than the money, because you're so valuable. Like a doctor, if he's having a bad day and doesn't feel like doing what he's doing, he's more susceptible to making a mistake. That mistake can cost a life. Me going to work and mismeasuring a piece of steel and punching the hole in the wrong place, that's going to affect the blade that's going on a snowplow. That's not going to take a person's life. You understand what I'm saying? You're involved in the children, very young ages. You affect the rest of their life.
Yes, but see, that wasn't. But
I don't.
go ahead, yeah.
Here's why I don't agree, because I do agree with doing what you need to do while they're in the building. I do agree with that. But when you never hold someone accountable, they never learn. And I don't think it's fair to say that they can't or they're not. I feel like we have to put things in place to make that, to give them that option.
Changing the parents.
It's not changing them, but it's giving them, like, for example, like I just said, I sat here and I talked to the kid and I said to the kid, why do you do what you do? And that just opened up dialogue for why. I've had some of that dialogue with parents. Some were receptive. Some were like, you know what I was about to say. You like the finger, but they not. It's not the finger. It's coming out their face.
Right.
So but it's still the conversation still has to be had. And I feel like there's a lot more we can do to change the dynamic.
Him and I were speaking. He didn't like how I said it or when I said it. He felt like he was being attacked. Him feeling like he was being attacked, that doesn't mean what I was saying wasn't correct.
Right.
For whatever reason, he felt attacked. I felt in giving the message or speaking, I'm giving valid points. Let's focus on these points. He couldn't hear anything because he felt attacked. Two different individuals, both feel the way they feel, and it's okay that we both felt the way we each felt, but something was missing.
Yeah.
Conversation.
That's one scenario.
Conversation we couldn't get anywhere within that conversation. Not putting the right or wrong label on either one of us, oil and water at that time. If you focus on the kids, and this is just my perspective.
As we do.
Focus on the kids strictly. If you're focusing on what you're not getting from the parents, expectation leads to emotional burdens. All it's going to do is get you frustrated. But if you, now, it's not going to work if it's just you, and then you got 3 or 4 other people that's just there for a paycheck, and they're not going to follow up with how you're moving. But if everybody in that building, and I'm not saying they're not, but if everybody in that building just loves what they do, and they're doing this because of the kids and what they want to give these children, you're going to change the community. Maybe not this generation, but the next generation.
So I think that, one, that's a Disney movie, and I feel you, but that's not reality.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong. No, you're 100% correct. But I just doubt any school, everybody's locked in the way you just said they all should be locked in.
Mm-hmm.
2, it's not, when I hear the conversation about holding parents accountable, I don't think we are supplementing or taking away from, like, pouring into our children. At the end of the day, they still got to go home. You feel what I'm saying? I remember Cutie Pie telling me a story years back when, a student couldn't even lock in. He had to go to the store. His parents said, go to the store.
When he was supposed to be learning.
While he's supposed to be learning online.
Virtually. We were virtual.
His mom tells him, go to the store. No matter how many hugs, how many high fives, how much instant gratification we give the student. Now, the student may be like, internally be like, yo, this is messed up. I should be locked in. Yeah, that could have happened. But if you don't sit the parent down or come up with some kind of programs, that's all Cutie Pie was trying to get at. It's not like we're complaining about the issue. The accountability piece for her is, how do we fix this so we're not just seeming like we're always pointing the blame on the parent.
I just want you to know that the things that I was saying isn't based on the things that I've seen you do.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, no question.
This is not you. I'm sorry for lumping you in a
No.
This is things that I've heard and seen others in that profession do. There's certain ones that just totally love the kids and it's unconditional, and they're not even focused on the parent. They just focus on how much can I pour into this child while I'm here, while this child is in my presence. I don't want you definitely to think that I'm putting you in the category, because I know how much you love and how much you stress over your children.
And I didn't mean to take over the floor, because I didn't even want it to.
No,
be
you take
all
over
about,
the floor.
I didn't want it to be all about my situation. It was just something that popped in my head about just us as a whole, because it kind of starts, to me, a lot of these things start in the home, and I know a lot of our homes are sick. And I don't mean sick, I mean sick literally like dysfunctional, maybe a missing parent, maybe missing parents, all kinds of things, parents with illnesses, all kinds of things. But it doesn't mean that the discussions doesn't need to be had, or that you still can't be held accountable, because it doesn't have to keep being that same cycle all the time.
And it goes back to like how we look at each other again.
Right.
If I know someone has wicked behavior, you feel what I'm saying, like personally, but then professionally they're doing all these quote unquote great things, and then we keep deeming them like this great person,
queens and kings.
You feel what I'm saying? And we're not saying, but wait a minute, all this other madness that is infecting everything that you are pushing to say we need to like tear down. We're not holding that person accountable at all. Where we can't just say.
But it's not always our job to hold somebody else accountable. It's more of our job to hold ourselves accountable in our circles. Social media brings us into so many people's lives that we feel we should have an opinion on everything. Now, you and I speaking about a certain situation, or you and I speaking about, that's how we I ain't like the way this person does it, but I don't think we should campaign it.
No, that's
in every situation, and that's what social media does.
It's
like you got
correct.
it's like you got the social media police, people that think they can set the narrative and think everybody should look and feel and move this way.
That's the issue that I have,
and that's not what. That's not life. That's not real. That's everybody. That's
an agenda.
A couple of people that have maybe a little, I don't want to say power,
clout, yeah.
or word
fabricated clout.
They're just people that influence others. They feel like, they feel like, well, this is what everybody should be doing. This is how I did it. This is look like me, act like me, talk like me, and a lot of people follow suit. Passing judgment on somebody else, they always say when you point the finger that one is pointed in that direction, but you got 3 other ones pointed at you. That's just the truth. If we start focusing on ourselves and tightening up ourselves, but then that goes back to something that I typed the other day. Insecurities rule the world. Insecurities rule the world. How everybody dress and look is based on their insecurities, and it's a big business. It's funny. Somebody else, I got on somebody's live today, real quick, and they were speaking about the butt jobs, the body enhancements and stuff. To me, that's the wackest thing in the world. I'm not changing who I am so that you can accept me. You understand? I'm gonna be me, regardless.
Right.
My imperfections actually make me unique, and I love that. So many of us choose to take. That's like a status symbol, a fake ass. Like, oh, I spent X, Y, and Z on this. Look what I got, and it looks.
But that's why we do have to, in certain cases, speak up and hold people accountable, because look at that dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Look at that dynamic that for you to be a beautiful woman, you have to have, well, when I was coming up, it was long hair, or I had to be light. Now what you got to have, you got to get your butt done, and you got to have the big boobs and the little waist. And it's that perception that was put out there. That's why people were doing it, because if you're not strong enough in the mind to know, hey, this is not cool, or this could potentially, harm you in the future, then you don't know. Nobody sat down and nobody said, you need the wise ones
Mm-hmm.
holding folks accountable.
Holding folks accountable.
Like I need to say, if a young girl come to me and be like, "Oh, she want the butt and all that," I'm gonna talk. I need to talk to her. We need to have a talk.
You know what our biggest problem is? Today, people think that wisdom equates to finances.
Yeah, of course.
I agree with you. I agree with you there.
They
I
think
totally
the
agree
wise
with you.
ones
Have the most money.
have the most money.
I agree with you there.
But a lot of times, the wise ones have the
nothing.
least.
Yes.
Because they're not focused on finance. A lot of them are focused on quality of life as far as being at peace.
That's this quote that I had.
That a lot of them are focused on obtaining knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and understanding of that knowledge, meaning being able to apply that knowledge
Mm-hmm.
so that you can develop wisdom. A lot of cool finance is the cool.
Mm-hmm.
Having an abundance is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have an abundance, you tend to have a lot of waste. Waste has never been good.
Mm-hmm. What do they say? The more money we make, the more problems we get.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be true. You can change the word problems with responsibility. If if you're not a person that likes responsibility, then you're definitely not a person that wants to be financially in abundance. Having a lot of money could be a true blessing, but having a lot of money could also send a weak mind, like the ones with the butts done and all of that stuff. It can send them crazy.
Yeah.
Because if by any chance you have a bad day and you take a loss, you're gonna get nervous, uncomfortable, and you might bug out.
Do anything for clout.
Yeah. But if you don't take anything else away from this conversation, from me, I ask, please take away the fact that wisdom doesn't equate to finance. Like you can't look at a person and what they wear and what they drive or where they live and say, I shouldn't listen. The funny thing is, what I can give you the most of is tell you what not to do, what didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep.
I'm speaking me.
No, and I agree.
I can tell you, yo, you don't do that. That doesn't work. And if you listen, it's going to be a lot of things that
you can avoid.
You're going to be able to avoid. And financially, I'm not in a great space at all. I'm working my ass off just to maintain a little something. But I think that's great advice that I can give someone. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Intangible blessings.
Yeah.
We don't respect those things anymore.
Nope.
We don't.
And that's hard.
I watch people follow the biggest fool, and this is in my eyes, my perception, speaking about me, and embrace all the clown stuff, thinking it's cool because this person
has money.
Or people might think this person
right.
has money. Whatever the case may be, they could, maybe not. And I sit down and I watch it, and it gets discouraging sometimes because it's like, wow, I'm trying to do this, and I don't push a particular religion. I don't push a particular way of life, or you have to do it like me. I sort of just try to give you a broader look on. There's a lot more to life. We don't have to push our kids to play sports. We can push our children to be doctors, lawyers, politicians, techies, fix cars, whatever the case may be. Let them find out what they're good at and what their interests are and give them their exposure. But we do the same thing. Sports. That's lame to me.
I think part of sports, though, is like, so.
There's positives in being a part of a team, yes.
And that part needs to be highlighted more than anything. If anything could change.
I'm not looking for my children to make it big and take care of me. I'm looking to put them in a position to where I make their life easier. I feel like a lot of times when we pushing these kids to do the sports and be entertainment, it's strictly because of the payday.
Yeah.
Because
Not the life skills.
right, it's strictly put them there, big house, things like that. I love the kids getting paid in college. I love them getting their worth, but it's so much more that we can do. All of our technology and theories of technology and everything is coming from overseas. Nothing is being
Accountability.
I have a question
It's-
about
I'm-
the sport
I mean,
thing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Maybe help me make this make sense. So, college students, I wish I knew the percentage of how many had like scholarships, because the scholarships would
Probably
come
looks different
from
for every college, though. More than likely.
the scholarships. I would think, and I'm probably wrong, would come from like those patronizing the sports and also donors and things of that nature. So for me, I think that athletes, student athletes in college, they should be getting paid when they're on like the EA Sports, things of that nature.
But that's what they're doing now. Now they're
Yeah, which y'all not going to do.
Yeah, no, we're not going to
the
drag
college
this out.
the athlete before didn't get
Didn't
paid
get anything.
for anything.
Right.
They got room and board and education, right?
On scholarships.
Through
Right.
scholarships. But you got to understand, so say a D1 school like Michigan. Can you Google or see, I would say ask Siri, but
Right, that's you.
Y'all got 3 minutes to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
this
we know, we know,
conversation.
we
Y'all
know, we
not
know.
about to
How
be
much-
off topic.
how much a semester at Michigan is? So let's say I've never been to college. I never had to pay for college. So can we say how much?
Out of state,
30.
40 grand.
Oh, I was
A
going to say 30
semester?
grand. Yeah, but I forgot it's times have changed.
Is that a semester?
No, that's probably not a semester.
That's for the year.
That's more.
No, that
Alright.
can't be the year.
says-
It got to be higher than that.
It says tuition. It's tuition, full time.
Does it say a semester?
I think it's for the
Doesn't say,
year.
like, it's probably
I think
for
it's
the year.
Full to yeah. I think
Yeah.
all right. So let's say 40,000 a year times
So
4.
that's 20 grand a semester.
So say that's excuse me, 40 grand a year times 4. It's 160, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that 160, you're getting free room and board, right? But Michigan, off of each student, is probably making about
Right.
Yeah.
About-
Yeah.
M a year off of each one of those those student athletes, because of what that ticket is bringing in, what that football team is bringing in through boosters, through the television contracts. These schools have like $30 million
Oh yeah, that's I
TV
forgot about all that.
contracts.
Yeah, I forgot.
So
about
we're
that.
not even
Got it.
focused on the EA Sports. We and the jerseys is
Yeah.
being sold,
Yeah.
and just the marketing and pushing of the name alone is generating money.
Yeah, I forgot.
Imagine
about all that.
one football game.
Mhm.
We're not even talking about the TV contracts. One football game in Michigan, how much you think they're generating?
I don't
Sold out stadium.
I don't even want to.
I've heard numbers like 50, 60,000 people.
Yeah.
That's paying for
Mhm.
4
Yeah,
years
yeah, of school.
yeah.
Yeah.
But each game
Mhm.
is doing that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You understand what I'm
Right,
saying? So it's
right.
big business, and for a long time it was an all boys club. We couldn't touch that bread.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure we can't even see really how much was really made. Now, all right, we deserve a percentage of that,
Yeah, no
and that's
question.
what they're giving.
Yeah,
us.
all right. It makes more sense now. I don't know why I forgot that. But anyway, go ahead, Cutie Pie, because you was.
No. I mean, y'all, you all, I don't know. You were all got to sports, which.
Yeah, that was my fault.
Why
I'm
is
glad
it
you got. I'm glad you got your.
fault? Are we not allowed to
it's-
talk about
no,
sports?
no,
on
it's
here?
not a fault. It's not a fault. I just was.
We ain't a goddamn bully.
Oh, wait a minute. The
I was
bullies
actually
caused another
trying to
person
keep
a
us
bully?
on track.
Well, no,
No,
because
you
it was
wasn't.
about account. It still was.
And
It was still on
it
track.
is about
It just was,
accountability. You
it's
could
part
still,
of
you
a
could still,
conversation.
you could still relate
You're
that
just
to
being
accountability.
controlling. You're just trying to control everything.
So real quick.
Typical.
I'm
What-
speechless
what,
right now.
What
'cause
happened to being seen and not heard?
Corey, I think they want to hear me too. I don't think that they just want to hear
Are you a
you.
narcissist?
No, I'm saying no, I'm not a narcissist. I said I think they want to hear me because they just don't want to hear only you.
Are you trying to say they only hear me?
I mean,
Let's take
you
a
said
survey.
it.
We'll do a social
Let's
media
take a survey. Who talks the most on debatable decisions? Yes, let's do a survey. Everybody comment on who talks the most.
So when we first, and don't cut me off, neither one of you. When we first started this,
I can't wait to respond.
we spoke about it. I originally wanted it to be y'all. I didn't even want to be on camera. Then I got, you gotta.
Yeah, it
speak
has
more.
to be all three of us.
You gotta speak more. No, you can't just be off to the side. Then, son, you gotta bring the little more the personality that you got. So I try to do all those things that are requested of me,
Woe is me.
and then I get shot.
No.
for trying to make
baby.
adjustments.
Wait a minute. You are
not
not about to be the baby right now.
Am I playing the victim?
You are
All
you
the
are
way.
not about to be the baby right now.
It's not working.
It's
Not
not,
at all.
working. Sorry. Accountability.
It was a nice try, though. It was a nice try.
You tried it, yeah.
Wait, let me try it again.
Very good. No, don't try it again. Don't try again. So we need, I guess, as a
Collective?
a people, yes, a collective. We need solutions.
Mm-hmm.
We need ways on how to hold each other accountable appropriately. As I think it's a must.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have any ideas as to how we can do that?
I mean, well, I gave a couple of solutions, and I don't really care who doesn't agree with it. One of my solutions is when a person is getting buck publicly, you match their energy, but you do it in a way that it's not like I'm trying to fight.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? But you can't. I see too many people playing victim. My problem is, and this is to your point, I know these people in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking about someone, a celebrity or someone I can't get in contact with, and I'm going back and forth with them, or I'm seeing these people interact, and it's just buffoonery. We know a lot of the people that are on our timelines personally. So part of the solution is if you see something that it's just not a good look, it should be okay to professionally or respectfully say, that's not a good look for none of us. And stop just trying to push your agenda, making it seem like I'm pushing mine. That happens far too often. And I don't think that there's one way.
No, there isn't.
You feel what I'm
There's many
saying?
ways, yeah.
So I think also we just respect everybody's, your group does it your way. Hopefully it makes sense. It works. As long as we're making progress, that's all I ask for. Let's make the progress and let's help each other when we see something that just needs help. Does that make sense or no?
Yes. What you got? Scales?
One,
Yes.
we need to learn how to love each other.
I agree. I
Two,
totally agree.
We need to get off of social media and loving each other.
Mm-hmm. No question.
So that's not going to ever work.
Yeah,
If you're relying on social media to correct the things that are going wrong in our community, it's never going to do anything.
No question.
So in order for us to be able to do that, we got to get off of our phones and come back outside. Come back outside and learn how to deal with one another. Learn how to communicate. Learn how to love. Anything that, if we rely on anything other than that, we'll always be twisted. Because every other culture, that's not important. And then they're like light years ahead of us because we don't have our culture.
That's right.
We don't know how we dealt with each other and how it's good to deal with each other or the ways that we should use to deal with each other because our culture has been destroyed or it's been hidden from us. A lot of people have adapted certain things that came from our original culture into theirs, but they're not teaching us what it is. And we might get a little bit here and think, all right, that's it. But there's so many other elements that's missing that we really can't even get the most out of the little things that we do know about. It becomes just something to celebrate. We rely on all the wrong things. we were told that right is wrong, and we were told that wrong is right. Meaning, a lot of shit that we were taught is ass backwards to what the truth really is. You understand? I should be able to be next to a queen without her feeling like I'm trying to sleep with her or get something from her. I can't give a woman a happy birthday in her DM without it being something else, or just saying good morning and hello without it being
side eye.
Do you think
Like,
you'll
no.
get that same energy if it was like in person? Like if you saw,
no. This shit just fried eggs. Our brain. So even in person, is gonna be something different.
Okay, that's
You understand what I'm saying?
right. I just was trying to make the connection.
When I were young, it was grab the old ladies' bags, help them to their house.
Now that's like I'm trying to get your number.
Now it's right. Now everything is, because that's where your mind is. You're only coming outside to be seen now. Now it's something else. So it's not one or two answers. It's really we need to reset.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, it's
we
a lot of
need
different.
to throw everything away, reset, go back to just rags. You know what I'm saying? And all natural shit, and remove all of this shit and focus on what's real.
I was gonna ask Cutie Pie if she had one. But
I definitely
But
do,
what?
because I was going to throw myself in there
no, go
anyway.
ahead.
I was going to say that we need to start being more open. We need to be open and receptive to what. If I'm giving you a jewel or a gem, stop thinking I'm doing it to hurt your feelings or to come at you. Or I'm be open and accept what I'm saying. If you got a business and I tell you your customer service sucks, and I'm coming in here and I'm spending my money, figure it out. You know.
How are you telling me?
Yeah, no, that, I mean, you have to say it appropriately. You're right. It's called constructive criticism. Yes, you're right. But then, like I said, people got to take it too. Even if I'm not saying that you're not supposed to feel away if I come at you wrong. But if I'm telling you your customer service sucks, that may not be the most appropriate way, but I'm patron your establishment. So you take heed to what I'm saying. So I'm just my leave with is be open for the hard discussion, be open for the constructive criticism, so we can figure it out.
And that's like from business to personal relationships.
Yeah.
To your point, you know what I mean. So I'll remove my point, although I still think my point matches y'all points as well.
Why would you remove your
No, that's why I said I'm not. I was about to be PC real quick, but I stopped myself. I know a few weeks or a couple months back, I was like, yo, as a people, we're effed. You feel what I'm saying? And y'all were like, why would you say that? And I mean, I gave y'all my reasons as to why, but I still believe that we are making progress despite all the other stuff that's thrown in our face.
It's like no matter what, it's like I can say that, but I still have faith. Is faith the word to use? I still have faith in my people. Like I still believe in my people, regardless of how.
I guess that could work.
Is that
could work? That could work for me.
I don't want to put words in your
mouth.
mouth.
I mean, it's not faith. It's like I see it. So it's not like I'm hoping. It's like, nah, I do see the progress. I know that there is progress being made. So it's like it's just a one step beyond just having faith.
Right.
For me, in regards to like knowing that we're headed in the right direction. We just have to, I think, be able to apply the love, like Corey said, be open to the conversation, and don't get punched in the face.
Please don't get punched in the face. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. That's not the narrative we're pushing right now.
No, that is the narrative. Don't get punched in the face.
Well, I said, please don't get punched in the face. That's what I'm saying.
I love y'all. I'm just joshing.
Can I get a milkshake after this?
Yeah, we can make that happen. We can make that work. Yeah.
Corey's for sale after this. Highest bidder. Comment box. Leave it in the comment.
You might not get too much money.
No, I'm
I might have I might be cheaper to keep.
I think now that they know the wisdom that is in
your
that
stock
body
is
right
all the way
there,
to
we
the
might
ceiling.
get.
I don't
you
have
know,
the gold chain.
We
You don't
I don't
need it.
have the
See,
rings
you
or the
missing.
watch.
It
You don't need
doesn't
it.
matter.
No,
we
I-
already put it out there, so now that they know what
Yeah.
it's hitting for,
Yep.
Just
we might
because we
get a
said
couple
it,
bucks.
just because we said it, that doesn't mean they believe
It's
it.
very obvious.
That-
There's
but then
wisdom.
that to your
Yeah.
point of the child and the teacher, then you just said everything you just said, you just take away.
No, not at all. I didn't take anything away. I'm strengthening my point to tell you because I don't have it on, they might not be receptive to it. So you're basing the value of me off of what you know, but that doesn't mean everybody else sees it the
If
same
I
way.
see it, somebody else.
Somebody
sees
else sees it.
Maybe.
Nah,
You
we know
know.
that for because
Because
again,
we
You might
can't
as
be
well
the
just-
we can't be
you
the
don't wanna
only
just keep
realists
me?
out here.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
They
right.
might not think that we real. They might think
you know
But
what?
you
I don't
really don't-
care.
you
We
really
real.
wanna sell me,
We're
though?
real.
if I was that valuable, you
I mean,
wouldn't
I-
want to give me up.
that's not necessarily
Everything
true.
has a price.
Oh, so y'all capitalists
Just-
today.
Nah, I mean, we can talk about how we can flip that word later, but yeah, I think that we need to also start building our stuff up. We need to start accepting that it's okay to sell, because if you're selling, listen to what I'm saying.
I didn't mean to say 100.
No, it's all good. But I think when I finish my statement, you may be like, all right,
Go ahead.
Business is cool.
if when we have things, sometimes you have to sell in order to do the other things you want to do.
No,
Sometimes.
making money.
I said sometimes.
Yeah,
So it
making
should,
money and doing business is fine. It's just the moral principle that you have. I feel you need to apply to it.
and I agree with that.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm not saying let's sell you.
She
I
said that.
did.
But my thing is, what we do with our money when we make it. My thing is us selling information. My thing is just the things that we naturally need. My brother needs that. Why should I make
Why
it
should
so
I sell
hard
it? Right.
for my brother to get it?
Because but
Because
now we're
to
talking
your
about
point,
two different
because
things, though.
because to your point, we've been taught. What did you say? To do all of the
Wrong
right
shit.
things
Wrong,
wrong and
yeah,
all of the wrong things. You know, whatever you said, because I can't say what you said, but you know what I mean.
I understand the purpose of $1 and the value of $1, right? So I might not necessarily give my child my business. I might sell it to him, and I understand why. I might sell my child my business because I want him to value it. I want him to put a little bit of sweat equity into it before he gets it, so he'll know what it takes to maintain it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to sell my business at the same price that I would sell it to somebody else.
Right, understood.
You understand what I'm saying? Or make it impossible. I'm not trying to hustle him. It's not going to be a buyer-payer situation. You miss one payment and it's over, and I'm going to resell that car again. No. But I'm going to make it feasible for my son. You got to work for it. Because if I just give it to him, he might not respect it.
But I'm not talking and then we got
And
to
same
wrap
to
up.
my brother.
I wasn't talking about the generational selling. I'm talking about selling it to the highest bidder because I may want to do some other things, and this reached its cap. I've made everything I can make with this one, so I'm gonna sell it so I can make some more moves.
Got you.
That's
But
all I meant.
All right, so think about a lot of the companies that we as a people have sold, right?
Yeah.
We've come up with some great ideas. All right, do your research. From what I understand, and this could be wrong because this is secondhand information, but the 60s and 70s, a lot of black people owned majority of the liquor licenses in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And this is coming from an elder. He said, but their children turned to drugs and a lot of them wasn't doing the right things.
Which would have been in the 70s, 80s, right?
Yeah.
For children,
That
right?
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Wasn't
perfect
doing
sense.
a lot of the things, and they start selling the liquor licenses to the white folks. Right? So now it's hard as hell for us to get a liquor license. But if they would have foreseen either hold on to this or still sell it to my child or put it in a trust for my child or for a future generation or
Right.
anything.
And that's
it's other ways, and keep
because
that
their
because
parent did their parent teach
And now-
them?
once they got it, they made it impossible for us to get it back. And a lot of situations we have control over at one point, whether it's a
Agreed.
great idea or
Yes.
a new product, and we sell it to the highest bidder, take a decent amount, but they're going to take that and make it.
And
And I know
a
someone
billion
that
times more.
personally happened to, and it was misinformation, and not understanding, and that's what we lack. You know
That's
what I
why-
mean?
look-
I'm not saying that. I'm
No,
not
I'm
saying
not
that that's
arguing.
acceptable. We have to figure it out, though. We have to learn.
yeah, there's a lot
what,
that
what, but I mean, they got the blueprint, so we
Right.
have to figure out what that looks like.